Deep in the mountains of Switzerland lies one of the oldest and most exclusive boarding schools on the planet. And this school isn't just for rich people, it's not for the 1%. No, it's for the 0.001%. This is where billionaires and royalty send their children to be educated. It's even known as a school of kings for just how prestigious and expensive it is. Former students have included the Shah of Iran, Prince Rainier of Monaco, King Albert II of Belgium, Winston Churchill's grandchildren, John Lennon's son Sean Lennon, even the Rockefeller, DuPont, and Rothschild families went to school here. It costs $157,000 per year to attend this all-powerful boarding school, which is around $70,000 more than Harvard. And what are they getting for all this money?
Not only this, the school has 2 campuses. One located in the Chateau du Rosay estate in Rolle, built in the 14th century, and the other campus is located in chalets in the ski resort of Gstaad.
And teaching is in English and French. Students absorb the culture and character of both English and French-speaking ways of thinking, and in total, over 20 languages are taught at Le Rosay, ensuring that students also maintain contact with their own culture. At the heart of Le Rosay is the Learning Center, where the library holds a collection of over 20,000 books in several languages. Group work, classes, and private study allow students to gain increasing autonomy in their academic work while still providing the possibility of consulting teachers at any time. All students have their own laptop, which they use regularly in class and for homework, with an emphasis on the importance of creativity.
The school has a private sailing center on Lake Geneva with its own 38-foot yacht, a fully functioning stable with 30 horses of the best breed and health. In the winter, students are given full access to a local ski resort in the gorgeous Swiss Alps. You get a 5-star dinner prepared by expert chefs every single night, and there's even a private spa for the students to recharge after all their hard work. And yet, most of you have never even heard of this place before. That's because they've worked hard to stay out of the spotlight and to keep their billionaire school children hidden up in the mountains. Because the truth is, it's not the fancy amenities that keeps the richest families in the world sending their kids here. It's because these institutions systematically pump out tomorrow's world leaders. The people who are going to control businesses, countries, and us. That's why the rich send their kids to Institut Le Rosay. See, in today's world, if you work hard and smart, you can become successful from nothing if you really wanted to. You don't need a degree from an average university. But these schools? Make no mistake, these schools do give rich kids a very real unfair advantage. Because while you and me were conditioned for 12 plus years by plebeian teachers surrounded by plebeian students for a plebeian life, these rich kids were raised around power and wealth. They got to rub shoulders with the other rich and powerful. They didn't get conditioned to be laborers like we did. They were conditioned to take their rightful place on the modern day throne. And Le Rosay isn't the only school out there. There are elite schools like this all over the world, pumping out tomorrow's rulers. Stay dangerous, and this is what the 0.001% doesn't want you to know. You can bet that these elite schools are giving kids a head start on AI. But now you too can get a head start on AI with Prompt Perfect. So Prompt Perfect is this insane tool that helps you write better prompts for ChatGPT or even Stable Diffusion or Midjourney. So take this prompt for example, write an article about Elon Musk creating SpaceX, and write down here ChatGPT creates a very average looking AI written article. Now let's take the same prompt and put it into Prompt Perfect. As you can see, it's optimizing it right here for ChatGPT, and this is a super optimized prompt that Prompt Perfect outputted. We went from just 8 words to 99 words, and right down here you can see the before with the original prompt, and over here you can see the much more thorough prompt, and the article that it generates is much better as well. But it's not just ChatGPT, you can also do this with Midjourney, which is really cool. So let's take this prompt that someone made in Midjourney and plug it into here to see what we get. So we got this prompt, super long now. Let's plug it into here, and boom, we got this one. And what I really love about this is that I've spent like an hour before filling with prompts in Midjourney and I still can't get the output I want. But with this, it saves you a ton of time. So give it a try with the link below and use code Jake for 15% off your subscription and credit purchases. That's code Jake with the link below. Thanks to Prompt Perfect for sponsoring this video. Getting into an elite boarding school isn't easy. Even people with a few extra $1 million to spend on their kids' education are fighting for the chance to get in. Le Rosay accepts children as young as 7 years old, but there are super competitive admission rounds that evaluate students on their intellectual ability, language skills, character, and personality. Students are expected to speak at least 2 languages, and spoiled, antisocial, or severely challenged children will not be admitted to schools like Le Rosay. But let's get real here. It's less about how gifted you are and more about who your parents are and how much money they have in the bank. These are the kind of schools where people ask who your parents are before they even ask for your name. So what should you expect if you manage to prove yourself and actually get into an elite school? 8:30 a.m. Wake up in your perfect dorm room with an in-suite bathroom, which is basically like your own apartments. Attend classes taught by some of the brightest minds in those disciplines for a few hours. Each class will only have a couple of students for every teacher to ensure that you understand everything and are given the very best education. 12:30 p.m. Spend the afternoon connecting with your classmates from all over the world. We're talking about the sons and daughters of diplomats, presidents, and kings. Then go back to class and learn about things like entrepreneurship and multiple languages. 3 p.m. Broaden your horizons by mastering any sport you could ever think of in professional fields and stadiums. Maybe learn how to play an instrument at the Juilliard level, or take art or drama classes that end up getting you onto Broadway. 7:30 p.m. Get ready for a restaurant-quality dinner prepared by only the best chefs. After eating, attend an on-campus show or lecture, hang out with your rich kid friends. On the weekend, maybe you'll be taken on a cultural getaway, or you'll attend an important social events. It's a very strict life but luxurious. Plus, it leads to a resume that will buy you a one-way ticket into any elite college around the world. And then to the seats of power of your choosing, just like the people it's already worked for. Everyone has heard of Harvard and Yale, but nobody really knows about the collection of elite schools where Harvard and Yale get a lot of their students from. Schools like the Hurtwood House School, that's located inside a mansion on 200 acres of land with a budget of $125,000 for the Christmas musical every year alone. Or Le Regent, a school designed by Apple that's known for turning kids as young as 3 into tech geniuses. And all these places have an impressive list of former students to back up their claims. Former Google CFO Pietro Dova and Princess Tatiana of Greece and Denmark attended the lavish Aiglon College in the Swiss mountains. The Vanderbilt family and the Saudi royal family were both educated at the Layson American School. The Lawrenceville School is the alma mater for both billionaire publisher Malcolm Forbes and former Disney CEO Michael Eisner. Prince Harry and William, the writer of the James Bond series Ian Fleming, and famous actors Hugh Laurie and Eddie Redmayne all went to Eton College in the UK. And places like the Rosenberg Institute have so many powerful names coming through that it's their policy to keep their list of students a closely guarded secret. It's insane just how many wealthy people that influence your lives right now attended these elite boarding schools. And although there are plenty of examples of very successful people coming out from nothing, without going to a fancy boarding school, without going to a fancy university, the harsh reality is that we have met people like this that grew up around business, that grew up around wealth. And they are so many miles ahead of the masses that it's almost unfair. Where you went to school does matter to an extent. Getting a degree from an average university will set you up for an average life. But there's a reason why Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and many more all went to the best Ivy League schools. And when it comes to the lucky rich kids who were conditioned from childhood to be successful, well, we have actually met some of them, and these people are true business people. Way better than me or anyone I know. Like to them, making money in business is as natural as breathing air or riding a bike. Because they weren't fed the wrong conditioning their entire lives, unlike us.
First of all, about schools, our kids spend first of all, they sleep 8 hours, right? They wake up morning, they go to the school, they spend there 8-9 hours, and we don't know with who they spend time. Maybe these teachers, you don't even know what they're thinking, what they have on their mind, and you let them to give education to your kids. It's very dangerous. If you not agree with these teachers on your life position, but you let them teach your kids, and when they become 16, you want they become like you. Don't work. You have to control who teach your kids. And a lot of people miss this. A lot of crazy people, they working in school too. And they give education to your kids. But if you talk one-on-one with them, you're not gonna spend with them even 5 minutes. But they spend with your kids 8 hours every day.
What a point.
It's very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
You have to control this.
And let's face it, institutions like these elite schools ensure that the bloodlines in power stay in power. The kids of the powerful are put in a bubble with other kids of the powerful to ensure that no plebs poison their worldview, while leaving nothing but scraps for the rest of the 99.999%.
There's an endless stream of evidence that private schools help make our country unequal. Only 7% of the UK are privately educated, but a disproportionate number occupy some of the most influential jobs.
But the teaching profession is in turmoil. The wage gap between teachers and others with the same level of education and experience is nearly 20% and growing.
The average public school teacher in America earns a little over $50,000 per year. That's about how much money the Rosenberg Institute recommends parents give their kids as spending money during one school year.
As a state school teacher, why would I not want the absolute best for the young people in front of me? Why don't they deserve to have small class sizes, luxurious facilities, access to this incredible network of alumni? And I think that would make our society much better and much fairer, and abolishing private schools is key to that.
In Finland, they did something interesting to combat this. They banned private schools entirely.
We don't see education as an industry, we see education as a basic human right for everybody. And that's why all education is free in Finland. It's against the law to run a private school or private university.
Now Finland is ranked one of the best public education systems out there and has one of the smallest education gaps in the world.
And what that means is that by making the rich kids go to school with everyone else, they grow up with those other kids as friends. And when they become wealthy adults, they have to think twice before they screw them over.
But let's face it, the 0.001% are always going to want the best education for their offspring. So if it's not Finland, they will simply take their money elsewhere. So if you're not part of the 0.001%, what can you do then if you weren't raised in these elite schools? Well, the first thing is to be extremely glad that you don't have rich parents, because I've met a good amount of rich kids by now, and most of them are not what we described here. Sure, they go to nice schools, sure their parents buy them nicer clothes than you, but deep down 99% of rich kids have absolutely zero drive. They're some of the most insecure people I've met because they're living in the shadows of their parents. They have no idea what they want to do with their lives just like you, but unlike you, they usually have zero hunger. For 99% of kids, growing up with money completely screws them up. So that's the first step, recognizing that your weakness is probably a strength. The next step is to recognize that you still need to take all the stuff you've learned in public school and university and throw it out the window. Because the education system for the masses exists for one thing and one thing only: to pump out hardworking, obedient, thoughtless laborers. And you want to know who else sent their kid to an elite private school? The Clintons. Ah yes, Bill and Hillary Clinton sent their daughter Chelsea Clinton to an exclusive K-12 school with a tuition of around $50,000 a year. And you want to know what else is interesting about the Clintons? It's that in the span of around 3 decades, more than 50 people connected to Bill and Hillary Clinton have died. 50 people. And these 50 people all magically died in one of the 3 ways: suicide, plane crash, or robbery gone wrong. Just those 3. And all these people all had dirt on the Clintons that would have ruined their political careers, but now they're conveniently dead. And all these deaths magically came to an end after Clinton left the White House. And we expose it all in our new private documentary, The Clinton Kill List, that you can watch right now by clicking the card on the screen. One member said, "Now I understand why you had to make these videos member only. Thank you for your hard work." This YouTube membership is where we post only the most damning controversial documentaries that are too spicy to be posted publicly. So click the card on the screen to watch now.